said that? I don't know, I get a headset for this.
I don't know about that.
I'm not.
Okay, he might be here. We're talking about it. He might be here.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if Doc's pulling my tail or not, so we'll have to see if he gets up to get the award.
If he's here, I wish I
If he's
would've
here,
dressed
he should
up.
just go and
I
jump
should have
on
dressed
stage.
up. Otterbein Alumni Awards.
You knew Julianne, right?
Yeah.
She just sent me this.
There's a live stream.
Wait, what?
I'm dead. Julianne just sent me that.
And Max? What? Wait, how could she hear us? It's like way up there. What?
Oh, I know.
I gotta find the thing about Corey Michael Smith in here.
This is creepy. I'm creeped out. You didn't even say it that loud.
What the heck? Wait, so if she can hear it, then everybody can hear us.
On the live stream, apparently.
I'm so confused. Corey enters house, stage left, stairs. He is here.
Are you lit?
Shit. Wait, it's live streamed. I mean, darn.
The mic's right there.
Oh.
She says hi. You should say hi, Julianne.
Hi, Julianne. Corey Michael Smith is in the building. Unbelievable. people are watching. This is Julian Graffio, right?
I'm gonna give you a go.
Warm up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Otterbein University's Frischi Theater in Cowan Hall, home to one of the most respected theater and dance programs in the nation, and the 2018 Otterbein Alumni Awards ceremony. At this time, we ask that you help us keep our honorees and performers center stage tonight, and please take a moment to turn off or silence your cell phones. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you will be asked to calmly proceed to the nearest exit. The exit indicated by a red light nearest to your seat is the shortest route to the street. For your safety, please keep the aisles clear during this event. You are all invited to attend the Afterglow cocktail reception across the street at the Rausch Hall Fisher Gallery following this performance. And now, please welcome the Otterbein Department of Theater and Dance students and a number from their most recent main stage production performing Not for the Life of Me and the opening from Thoroughly Modern Millie.
I studied all the pictures in magazines and books. I memorized the subway map too. It's 1 block north to Macy's and 2 to Brothers Brooks. Manhattan, I prepared for you. You certainly are different from what we have back home, where nothing's over 3 stories high, and no one's in a hurry or wants to roam. But I do, though they wonder why. They said I would soon be good and lonely. They said I would sing the homesick blues. So I always had this ticket in my pocket, a ticket home in my pocket, to do with as I choose. Burn the bridge, bet the store, baby's coming home no more, not for the life of me. Break the lock, post my bail, done my time, I'm out of jail. Not for the life of me. A life that's gotta be more than a one-light town where the light is always red. Gotta be more than an old ghost town where the ghost ain't even dead. Clap your hands just because, don't face reality. It's not insanity, says Vanity Fair. In fact, it's stylish to raise your skirts and bob your hair. Have you seen the way they kiss in the movies? Now it's quite respectable. Goodbye, good goody girl. I'm changing that now. So be good, sometimes you're conservatively honored. What we think is she unique and quite adorable. They think he's on inside of and adorable. But the fact is, things are getting jazzier. Starting to go. Cars are getting snazzier. And say, it's criminal. What we will do. What they're forgetting is this is 1922. I'm changing that house. Ladies and gentlemen, our hosts for this evening, Mr. Craig Bennett and Miss Dee Hoty.
Yay! I guess we've moved.
Yes.
I got my bags packed. Hello. Well, she does. Hi. Good evening. Hello, Otterbein. I think you know that. Join me, asking you to join me in giving Abigail Icsman and the featured cast members of Thoroughly Modern Millie another huge round of applause. Okay, Craig. Not only were they amazing, but they start exams on Tuesday. Yikes. Are you ready? I'm
Yes.
not ready. It's great to be home and back home on this stage to share this night with such a distinguished audience. This place and the people here are who I learned from and with and who helped me become who I am. I credit Otterbein with providing me with the beginning of learning to be a person. I learned what I wanted and how to get it here, and I kind of grew up on this stage. This house and this building were the home of so many important lessons in my life. A few of those lessons make for some funny stories, but I think you'll have to buy me a drink first because, you know, it's a clean night. So, at least until the afterglow. How about that? Let me also say how wonderful it is to share the stage with my dear friend, Craig Bennett, who, if I may remind you, took the night off from his Broadway show, Phantom of the Opera, just to be with us.
Thank you. Thank you. But let's get one thing straight, Miss Hoty. I'm the lucky one tonight. I'm going to let you in on something that most Otterbein Theater alumni I know consider to be fact. Dee Hoty was an Otterbein legend well before any of her Tony nominations. From the second that I set foot on this campus, it was clear that she was the model Otterbein Theater graduate. Dee was the actor we all wanted to be. In fact, when I found out that I was cast in the first North American company of Mamma Mia with the Dee Hoty, I realized that I had hit a milestone in my career. You realize you'll never be equal to this incomparable talent, but you know it's a privilege and a joy just to share the stage with her.
Craig, you are too kind, and I'm not wearing my boots, so please stop. Honestly, Craig, you are one of the kindest men I know. This man is really one of the golden guys. One of the qualities I've come to appreciate most in Craig is his talent as an actor and a singer is amplified because of how his humanity shines through his work.
It's very kind of you, Dee. I think the notion of humanity is something we learned at Otterbein, and I transferred to Otterbein from a very competitive, judgmental environment, and I came to this inclusive, caring place that made it okay for me to take risks and make mistakes and explore what more I had inside of me. Here, we're like unlike any I'd ever met before, and that's what helped us grow. And that's what we celebrate tonight, our shared humanity, our realized potential in the ways we work to give back. So let's get started.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to introduce our house band for this evening.
Yay.
Dominic Bear. Dominic Bear, class of 2017 on piano. Eric Stratton, class of 2019 on bass. And Mr. Greg Owens on percussion. You're in for a treat. They're talented.
Let's also take a minute to recognize some additional important friends in the house this evening. First, I want to offer a special welcome to Otterbein President Kathy Crendel and her husband, Richard Gilbert. See, they don't have to know anybody to get seats in the front row. They just get them. Also in the house tonight are President Emeritus Dr. Tom Kerr and his wife, Donna. Yay! Oh, there you are. Thank you for your service to Otterbein.
We also want to welcome the Otterbein trustees here this evening. Otterbein's board chair, Mr. Mark Thresher, is here tonight with his wife, Debbie, maybe? And is joined by fellow board leaders. Join me in thanking Chairman Thresher and all other current trustees emeritus with a round of applause for their leadership.
Thank you, Nate and Jay. We would also like to thank the members and consultants of the Alumni Council who are here this evening. Their loyalty and talent have helped make nights like these possible. Let's thank them with a round of applause, too. Nate and Jay, Nate and Jay. And now, on with the celebration. Tonight, we have the pleasure of introducing a new award, the Gold Young Alumni Award.
This new Young Alumni Award honors graduates of the last decade who've been recognized for truly setting the pace as some of the most successful leaders in their industries.
Hence the name, Graduates of the Last Decade, which is where the award is known, or why the award is known, as the Gold Young Alumni Award. As you'll hear, gold also describes the caliber of tonight's inaugural slate of nominees.
Chosen by a committee of their peers, these honorees represent the highest standards of excellence and a commitment to advance the common good.
It's clear that each one of these young professionals are making a difference in ways that will better their professions and the lives of others. It is our honor to present this impressive flock of gold cardinals.
Michaela Coleman. She's been described as a bold and courageous advocate and activist with a heart of gold. Having served as an intern for the Ohio House of Representatives, she's been described as a bold and courageous advocate and activist with a heart of gold. Having served as an intern for the Ohio House of Representatives and also for United States Senator Ted Kennedy, she quickly rose to senior legislative aide in the Ohio House before moving on to Washington, D.C. to serve as press assistant and legislative correspondent for U.S. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. She worked for the Brookings Institute, and now she serves as the assistant manager of communications and investor education for the North American Securities Administrations Association. Selected as one of 80 among 500 across the nation, she completed Yale University's Women's Campaign School and is now pursuing a master's degree in international business at Georgetown University. From the class of 2010, our first Gold Young Alumni Award winner, Michaela Coleman. Benjamin Leffel. As a scholar and researcher, he was hired to counter a professor's points of view on China as a teaching assistant at the University of California, Irvine. The professor was none other than Peter Navarro, now President Trump's top trade advisor. He worked with international organizations in China, co-authored a commissioned report for the British Government Office for Science, conducted research for the Clinton State Department as Special Representative for Global Intergovernment Affairs. He has lectured at Oxford, is internationally published, and is finishing a pictorial book with Lily Li Chen, the nation's first female Chinese-American mayor of a U.S. city. Adding to his Otterbein degree are 2 master's degrees from American University and a PhD in Sociology and Progress at the University of California, Irvine. From the class of 2010, our second Gold Young Alumni Award winner, Benjamin Leffel. Shima Masood. One nominator said she was the hardest working young professional I have known in my 30 years of teaching. Regarded for her tireless work ethic and love of learning, this alumna makes things happen. Following 4 promotions, she quickly found herself a member of the executive team of the multi-million-dollar Charles Penzone Salons Company. She is credited with revitalizing a 20th century company's technology infrastructure and analytics into a modernized 21st century success story. More than a makeover, she streamlined cost reductions and gave the brand a fresh, new look and strategy. She makes time to mentor young women in the STEM fields and recently joined Deloitte Consulting in Cincinnati as Senior Consultant of Strategy and Operations. From the class of 2011 and an MBA graduate of 2013, our third Gold Young Alumni Award winner, Shima Masood. Meredith Ulmer. This Cardinal has the whole country tweeting because of her team's authentic, cheeky, and viral inspiring social media strategy on behalf of the Wendy's Company. This senior social media strategist is responsible for the expanded success of the viral #NugsForCarter tweet, which went on to become the most shared tweet in Twitter history. This record was made with no paid media, just a down-to-earth social voice and the help of this alumna, her team, and the creative shop VML. Her team also defined Wendy's first Super Bowl commercial of the century. Adweek named her one of the 10 branded content masters who bring their craft to consumerism and said, "It's impossible to talk about brands in social media without talking about Wendy's." #success and retweet congrats to class of 2014 and our 4th Gold Young Alumni Award winner, Meredith Ulmer. Emily Brediger Peck. Wild horses couldn't keep this alumna away from making an incredible difference as an animal welfare champion and savvy nonprofit leader. Driven by her personal mission to increase nonprofit effectiveness and humanity awareness for bettering the lives of animals, this alumna has transformed the clinic and facilities of the Virginia Beach Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. She's responsible for a 144% increase in patient population and helps grow a staff of 8 and 2 veterinarians to a staff of 22 with 5 veterinarians. This low-income clinic sees over 14,000 patient cases annually. As the chair of the Tidewater Community College Veterinary Program Advisory Board, this alumna is helping launch the 3rd licensed vet tech program in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She volunteers at a therapeutic riding center and with the Chincoteague Pony Herd Management Team. From the class of 2011, the 5th Gold Young Alumni Award winner, Emily Brediger Peck. Kate Wheel. An injury is often an athlete's worst nightmare, but this alumna refused to be sidelined after an Otterbein soccer injury. She paid attention to the passion she discovered while in the athletic training room. Currently a certified athletic trainer employed by Nationwide Children's Hospital Sports Medicine, this alumna is also the voice of Children's Sports Medicine's social media channels. She is the head athletic trainer at Grandview Heights High School and has previously served as an Ohio State University clinical instructor, as well as the head coach for Worthington's Special Olympics Class A team for 10 years. She continues to serve her alma mater as a member of the Otterbein Health and Sports Science Alumni Leadership Advisory Board. Named the 2017 Ohio Athletic Trainer of the Year by the Ohio Athletic Trainers Association, and from the class of 2010, our 6th and final Gold Young Alumni Award winner, Kate Wheel.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in another round of applause for this golden flock of outstanding Otterbein young alumni.
Much like gold, we predict that these honorees' commitment to positive change and meaningful advancements will endure. We also think that as professionals, lifelong learners, and leaders, their value will only increase. I'd like to say that one of our gold winners, Shima Mazood, was unable to be here tonight. You might have noticed that the person here didn't match the picture. Travel and service in Puerto Rico delayed Shima's return to Columbus today, and we appreciate Dr. Shireen Mafi for stepping in for her tonight.
Congratulations, Gold alumni. We look forward to the success and achievements ahead of you. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in once again giving these outstanding young alumni one final round of applause. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Professor of English and Women's Gender Sexuality Studies and Otterbein Master Teacher, Suzanne Ashworth.
I have no theater experience. Super nervous. If I mess up, I'll just try to make it like Jennifer Lawrence and be super funny, so, okay. Good evening. The Young Alumni Community Engagement Award is presented to an individual who exemplifies the university's philosophy of concern and commitment to society, demonstrated through civic and social responsibility. The recipient of this award has utilized their knowledge, skills, resources, and time to create a clear, positive impact on their chosen community, need, or issue. It is truly my privilege to introduce a young woman whose talents and commitments have given voice and a sense of humanity and purpose to those she teaches and mentors. Her work with the Prison Writers Literacy Project is respected and appreciated by those she teaches. One of the people incarcerated wrote a letter of support saying that the world has to find more ways to recognize people like Hallie, people who truly touch people's lives, who volunteer their time, and who choose to give back to the downtrodden of society. I am better for having met Hallie. We are better.
It's a 4-hour round trip between Kent State University and the Lake Erie Correctional Institution. It's a route that Hallie Niederman can drive in her sleep. This doctoral candidate at Kent has been traveling between the two locations nearly every week for the past 18 months. In 2016, Hallie and a colleague in the criminology department responded to a request from the Correctional Institute's librarian to organize reading and writing groups for its inmates. The two partnered, beginning by asking the inmates what they wanted from the program. Since creating the Project ID 13, Hallie's perception of prisons and prisoners has changed. She has been surprised at the inmates' openness, their recognition of the wrongs they have committed, and their determination to better themselves. With her help, these inmates are telling their stories, and often they are heartbreaking. The men read one book a month in the reading group. They've ranged from dystopian literature to sci-fi comedy. Hallie complements the book with short stories, articles, or essays. To help the men in the writing group, she provides prompts and exercises to develop characters, setting, and more. Twice each year, the men self-publish their written pieces. The men say Hallie's work has allowed them to feel like human beings and to be seen as individuals again. As one inmate wrote, Hallie's project has given me and the members of this club something amazing. The feeling that we are important, the feeling that we are not voiceless, the feeling that what we say matters. Although her work is voluntary and time-consuming, feedback like this makes it worthwhile. She not only hopes to expand the program at the institution and to research the effects of literacy on the inmates and their self-esteem, but to help others who want to organize similar projects in other areas of need. Tonight, we are honored to present Hallie Niederman with the Young Alumni Community Engagement Award.
Members of the Otterbein community, please join me in congratulating the Young Alumni Community Engagement Award winner, Hallie Niederman.
So I was asked to discuss how I stand with Otterbein in the past, present, and future. And I just want to say Otterbein has engendered my sense of empathy and inquiry. I was asked to invite some of my professors, and I invited 3 professors tonight, all responsible for this nagging outlook of empathy and inquiry, most of which my partners cannot handle watching movies with me on. That's neither here nor there. But for 3 very different reasons. One demanded a never-ending search for progress, an understanding of the mobilization of persons and justice, that it's never complete and complacency is forbidden. Another demanded cardinals to always look at their own actions before criminalizing the actions of others. And finally, another professor was always sympathetic to the disenfranchised, forcing realizations of actions and reactions, not as black and white, but as symptomatic of systemic constructions, recycling, and further embedding inequalities. These textual interrogations through the Otterbein curriculum and its amazing faculty are responsible for my work, my literacy work with the prison. It enacted in me the understanding that everyone is human and everyone should feel human and everyone has the right to literacy. But this knowledge construction is not reserved in literature courses, but it was across the integrated studies curriculum, and the 2 minutes that I have cannot give justice to the time that I have to say about the sciences and sociology, et cetera. And unfortunately, in this time, we are seeing decorated private liberal arts institutions like Mills have to revoke tenure and remove faculty, and worse, others like Hiram declare bankruptcy. And as public institutions are required to reduce required credits to the degree path and trim their core curriculums while ushering students into STEM fields, we have to be reminded that our work and our successes are the end result of being entrenched in the liberal arts discipline. And the instituted changes for public institutions will result in consequences for our own private institutions, such as Otterbein. It is our job as successful Cardinal alums to not only continue the work that we do, but to make public why we are successful, what Otterbein did for us, and that we wouldn't be here without the critical work we did in the integrated studies. And this is critical not only for the continued existence of a comprehensive liberal arts curriculum, but for the educations and the community actions of Otterbein's future students. Thank you.
And now, please welcome the chair of Otterbein's Department of Theater and Dance and award-winning performer and director, Christina Kirk.
Good evening. The Otterbein Young Alumni Professional Achievement Award is presented to a young professional who has demonstrated a high level of ambition, and professional excellence, which has resulted in significant career advancement at the local, regional, national, or global level. Tonight, I have the great honor of introducing theater and dance alumnus Corey Michael Smith as the recipient of this award. What impresses me most about Corey's work on stage, in film, and in television are the subtle details he incorporates into each role. These details reveal and conceal his character's intentions, making the outcomes of his scenes at once inevitable and surprising. When you couple that tremendous talent with Corey's willingness to share his knowledge, insight, and professional network with our current students, it is clear his excellence and example are helping us to launch the next generation of successful artists.
Today, Corey Michael Smith is a rising star, but like many college students, even he questioned his career choice at times while at Otterbein. He found the theater department to be a nurturing environment, however, with professors who were invested in their students' success. He gained important inspiration from his liberal arts classes as well. He says the discussions and readings in his philosophy and English courses often impacted his storytelling on the stage. What he loved most about his classes in the theater was, as he says, asking the big questions of life and of society. Corey spent several years performing in regional and off-Broadway musicals after graduation. In 2012, he was cast in his first leading role in a play in New York City, and it changed his career. He was given the opportunity to star in a second New York play and was cast in the Broadway production of Breakfast at Tiffany's. He received great reviews for his performance, but what he thought would be the pinnacle of his career was a huge disappointment. It was a formative experience, however, and he took the opportunity to reassess his career path, setting his sights on film and television. Since then, he has starred in a number of projects, including the HBO miniseries Olive Kitteridge with Frances McDormand and the movie Carol with Cate Blanchett. Both were critically acclaimed and award-winning productions. And just 5 years after graduating from Otterbein, Corey landed the role of the Riddler on Fox TV's Gotham, now in its 4th season. Throughout his career, he has chosen projects and roles that are both thoughtful and thought-provoking. He says there are few things more fulfilling than delving into a character, and considering someone's circumstances has helped him understand and sympathize with each individual he plays. Even as the Riddler, a comic book villain, Corey has masterfully tapped into the audience empathy by creating a complex character who is bullied and disrespected by his coworkers, and finds that committing crimes brings him the power and respect he is looking for. And while his character's signature mark is leaving riddles for others to solve, it's no mystery where Corey's future is headed. His nominator, Chris Kirk, states, "Corey's intellectual curiosity is one of his qualities I admire most about him. I still recall his hunger to learn and the vigor with which he tackled his roles at Otterbein." Corey will be starring in a big-budget movie with Ryan Gosling later this year, and he recently produced and stars in another film coming out soon. Acting, Corey says, is an incredibly inconsistent career with monumental highs and lows, but that's precisely what inspires me and keeps me moving forward. We are honored to present Corey Michael Smith with the Young Alumni Professional Achievement Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me, yes, in congratulating Young Alumni Professional Award winner, Corey Michael
Hold on, I gotta do my Face ID because I just got this phone like 2 days ago and it still doesn't recognize my face. That is technology. All right. Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes, please.
You'll need to connect to the internet first.
Okay. I put it on airplane mode because I thought that would be, considerate because I am in a theater. That's very all right. So I just want to say it's a real honor to be here with everyone and to be receiving this award with so many faculty and staff and administration here. And already this evening, the people we've been introduced to are incredibly inspiring. So it's very cool to be here. Thank you, Dee and Craig and all the students for spending your Saturday night with us. I know how valuable that is, so thank you. David Caldwell, this is really classy, as are you, so thank you for directing tonight. And I want to extend a special thank you to Chris Kirk, our new chair of the Department of Theater and Dance, for nominating me and for continuing to invite me to participate in the ongoing evolution of the department. So I could spend this whole 2 minutes that is not being timed, which means I get to go over. I could spend the whole time talking about the department and the faculty, and so many of them are here. Melinda, Melissa, John. I don't know if Dennis Davenport is here, but it's wonderful to see all of you. And I could talk about the rigor that they put us through and all the techniques that they trained us on that are the foundation for my work, with a capital W, make us work, and that I was able to build a career off of. But and this is a theme, I suppose, what I wanted to focus on tonight was talking about my gratitude for having a liberal arts education here at Otterbein. I was surrounded by very talented, inspired, passionate faculty in the theater department that trained me. However, I came to a liberal arts institution, and among the many other professors that I was surrounded by outside of the department, there are two other women, which is also a theme in my life. Powerful women. Two other women in other departments that completely rocked my world. One is Tammy Burke, who I know is here, who is the director of Women's and Gender and Sexuality Studies, and also Stephanie Patridge, who's the chair of the Department of Religion and Philosophy. And I mean this in the best way. I love to start sentences that way, because you're going to sweat. So I mean this in the best way. But these women, along with Chris and Melissa and Melinda, completely disrupted me in school. They asked big questions. They required explicit answers. And using different tactics, they all somehow burrowed into my soul and made me question everything. I questioned, as they said in the video, my motives for being an actor, why I was doing this. I questioned what my contribution to society would be. And it took my 4 years here at Otterbein to decide that my contribution was through telling stories and trying to bring humanity and stories to touch the folks that actually get to view them. However, these people made me a complete mess while I was in school. And you can ask my mother, because there were many telephone calls where she was very concerned for my emotional and physical stability. There is an alchemy to a good education. And liberal arts, there is something about a liberal arts institution that supplies students with the need, with what they need. I felt like I invested my time here as best as I could, and it rocked my world. And I felt like I became an actor here at Otterbein. And I undoubtedly became a more full and better person. And in closing, alma mater in Latin means nourishing mother, which I just love. And I just find that to be so appropriate when talking about Otterbein. This place is nourishing. It stands for kindness. It stands for inclusivity. And I was indeed nourished, and I'm very proud to call Otterbein University my alma mater. Thank you.
Hi, Corey.
Good to see you.
Congratulations, Corey. Yay. He's so pretty. Okay. I need to turn the page because I'm old, right? Okay. Well, as you just saw, Otterbein sure knows how to spot talent, don't they? Like Corey and all the students that you're seeing here this evening. You never know where these incredible performers will land next. When I hosted these awards a few years ago, I performed with this guy named Jordan Donica. Ever heard of him? He graduated in 2016, and now after he, toured with Hamilton, he's now appearing on Broadway in a massive revival of My Fair Lady. Excuse me. Tonight, On the Street Where You Live will be performed by Kenneth Ramoclis, who played Freddie in Otterbein's summer theater production of My Fair Lady. I suggest you enjoy Kenneth tonight, because who knows, he may just be the next cardinal to fly to Broadway. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth.
When she told about her father and the gin, and I never saw a more enchanting farce than the moment when she shouted, "Move your bloomin' arse." I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live.
Wow, Kenneth, what an amazing performance. I agree, Dee, we haven't heard the last from this young man yet. Good evening. My name is Mike McGreevy, and I have the honor of serving as the Vice President for Institutional Advancement at Otterbein. And it's certainly nights like these that remind us why Otterbein matters. As alumni, donors, and friends, and certainly the students whose talents we all enjoy tonight, you offer some of the very best examples of what Otterbein stands for. These awards this evening reveal more than the impressive accomplishments of our alumni. They reveal, as Craig and Dee have mentioned earlier, the humanity and the values of Otterbein. As you advance your industries and your fields, you work and lead in ways that are compassionate, kind, inclusive, and rooted in the most honorable of intentions. We see it. Tonight we shine the spotlight on it. I want you to know how very proud and how much we appreciate all that you do. It is an honor to share your stories and to work with loyal alumni and friends who want to ensure that Otterbein will stand strong for generations to come. So tonight, I would like to acknowledge some of the generous donors and visionaries we appreciate for standing with Otterbein. First, I want to briefly recognize the members of our giving societies who are here with us this evening. Joanne Van Sant, better known as Dean Van, served Otterbein for over 50 years. Through her leadership and mentorship, Dean Van had a positive impact on countless students, graduates, faculty and staff, and community leaders in ways that were all unique, meaningful, and transformative, just as she was. In honor of that legacy and commitment, Otterbein established the Joanne Van Sant Leadership Giving Society to recognize donors whose annual giving is at or exceeds $1,000. Would the members of the Joanne Van Sant Giving Society please stand and be recognized? Thank you so much. The 1847 Society recognizes those alumni, parents, and friends of Otterbein who have documented and shared their commitment to naming the university as a beneficiary in their estate planning. Gifts such as these represent a planned and purposeful choice that will benefit the exceptional educational experience that Otterbein is known and respected for providing since its founding in 1847. I'd like to ask the members of the 1847 Society to please stand for our appreciation. And since tonight is a night of celebration, I want to take a moment to briefly acknowledge some of the other important guests we have in our audience. I ask that you hold your applause until all have been recognized. During the last 2 weeks, as we conclude yet another academic year here at Otterbein, we've recognized student and faculty excellence in a number of programs. Some of those award winners are with us this evening. First, I would like to offer congratulations to the Student Cardinal Leadership Award winners in the House. 5 graduating students are recognized for having made extraordinary commitments to student life through their leadership and involvement in the Otterbein community. They have demonstrated a commitment to making Otterbein a better place. Tonight we have 2 of these cardinal leaders with us, Soon Wai Yi and Jas Plikta. Next, every year faculty nominates and select exemplars within their body. This year we're proud to learn that Michael Hudaba was the 2018 Best New Teacher. Melissa Lusher, the 2018 Master Teacher. Yes. And Denise Hatter-Fisher has been named the 2018 Exemplary Teacher. Congratulations. And finally, all of tonight's alumni honorees invited faculty and staff mentors, who they credit with sharing in their success, to join them this evening. The commitment to individual student success is a hallmark of the Otterbein education. Our faculty and staff provide mentorship, encouragement, and guidance that makes it possible for each student to discover more of their own potential. Would you please join me in recognizing all of the award winners and the special guests with a big Cardinal ovation of appreciation. There is so much to celebrate this evening. Now I have the pleasure of presenting the next award. The Otterbein Alumni Community Service Award recognizes Otterbein's philosophy of concern and commitment to demonstrate to society distinctive impact of volunteer service. Tonight, we are proud to give this award to a family who, as a group, through its multiple generations, truly reflects the spirit of this award in ways that make us all proud. The Boscarich family's commitment to to service is woven through the lives of all family members and is rooted from the expectation and example of their grandparents. Let's listen to how the family's commitment to service has rippled to touch lives of so many.
Family and community. Those two words sum up the values embraced by the Puskarich family, which includes brothers Michael and Matthew and his wife Christine, their cousins Mark and Amy, all Otterbein alumni, and their parents and siblings. Their grandfather immigrated to the United States from what is now Croatia, settling in the southeast town of Cadiz, to farm and work in the mines. As the Puskarich grandchildren were growing up, their grandparents instilled in them the importance of giving back to the community that had welcomed them. That commitment to service has been handed down through the generations and is woven through the lives of all Puskarich family members and how they serve their community. Individual members have raised funds for cancer research, the local hospital, schools, and nursing homes, and have assisted with the Special Olympics, Pelotonia, and 4-H, among other organizations.
When I arrived at Otterbein in 1978, one of the first students I met was a Puskarich. So I've had a long relationship with this family for the past 40 years. I could think of no one more deserving to receive the Alumni Service Award. I recently attended a Ross Leadership program where the speaker talked about servant leaders and then they embody these cardinal virtues: humility, generosity, and foresight. And the Puskarich family has these virtues.
In the early 1980s, the family led a multi-million-dollar fundraising campaign to build a new library in Cadiz, donating a considerable amount themselves. Michael, who passed away in 2012, chaired the Harrison Community Hospital Board in Cadiz and was a statewide officer of the Freemasons of Ohio. Matthew and wife Chris, both Otterbein graduates, are board members of the Harrison County Community Fund and the Husky Foundation. They are helping to lead the Puzzles for Prosperity campaign to raise $1 million for local causes. Their sister Lynn, a strong supporter of the Special Olympics program in Licking County, organized the first local prom for special needs students. Mark was motivated by a friend's diagnosis to found the organizations, A Christmas to Cure Cancer, and Blues for a Cure to raise money for various cancer research organizations. Mark's sister Amy and her family fundraise for and ride in the Pelotonia cycling event in Columbus, which benefits the James Cancer Research Center. And of course, she donates to Mark's charities. Their mother, Lois, supports a number of local, state, and national organizations. Several family members have extended their philanthropy to Otterbein. Chris and her sister established the Karen Ryle Endowed Scholarship at Otterbein in memory of their friend and sorority sister. Michael and Matthew's mother, Mary Bell, started a scholarship at Otterbein to honor Michael's memory. Mark, along with other former Otterbein track athletes, established the Miller, Ricevuto, and Lehman Endowed Scholarship to recognize several well-respected coaches. All are loyal donors to the Otterbein Fund, yet Lois has donated for 30 years. Otterbein prides itself on preparing students and alumni to serve a greater good. The Puskarich family embodies this commitment in both time and treasure as a model family of service and philanthropy. Tonight, we are proud to present the Puskarich family with the Alumni Community Service Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Puskarich family to the stage as our Community Service Award recipients for 2018.
Please give us a couple minutes because there's a bunch of us coming here. Well, I think we're all set. And it's nice to be back on the stage here at Cowan, because I know when Mark wasn't running track, he was here with the Men's Glee Club. My wife, Chris, my sister-in-law, Cindy, and I were with the bands, and we performed here as well. So it's good to be home. On behalf of our family, we would like to thank the university for this honor. A bit of history, as was mentioned, our grandfather came from Croatia in 1950. He came here in search of the American dream. Mark's dad fought in World War II. My dad, being the fourth oldest, was the first to actually graduate from high school because the others had to go to work first. With this, our parents knew education was the key for that true success in America and for living that American dream. My brother Mike was the first to come here, followed by Mark, Amy, and myself. We made Otterbein our home. It was easy to do, as Otterbein shares those same beliefs that we were taught at home. Love of God. Hard work is respected. Giving back to others is not an option. It is expected. Character and integrity means more than any outward success. Otterbein further instilled these same family values that we were taught at home to us here in our classes. And I expect the alumni here would agree with me that you learned these same characteristics as well. Our grandfather and our fathers would be proud and bluntly a little bit shocked that we're here on this stage and being recognized, let alone by a university, we being the sons of coal miners. So on behalf of our family, our extended family, and especially from 2 Rats and now 2 EKTers and a Kingsman myself, thank you very much for this award.
Let's welcome Craig Bennett Icsman for our next presentation.
This next award is particularly special for me since I was fortunate to share my years here at Otterbein with this talented alumna. The Pace Setter Award for mid-career professions recognizes alumni who are doing, as the award name suggests, setting the pace for future generations of leaders and learners while also making a significant impact in their profession. Tony Patano and I had classes together and did a few shows together, but what I remember most about Tony was the fun and the laughter and her great work. We did the show Irene together, and Tony played this ditzy gum-chewing character, and I remember a scene where my character demanded that she spit out her gum. Well, she did, and placed it into my hand every single night. Got a huge laugh. That's just one of the memories of Tony's talent and spirit that have stuck with me through the years. And I'm so excited to share in this night with her, and so proud of the impact Tony is making as an actor and an Otterbein alumna. Let's learn more about her work and contributions.
Tony Patano is a born storyteller. Her parents were both actors, and Tony herself has loved entertaining people for as long as she can remember. So as far as Tony is concerned, there really was no doubt that she would become an actor. She chose Otterbein because of its theater department, and it is where she says she learned about her craft, herself, and her support system. Crucial to that support was Dean Joanne Van Sant, who Tony regarded not only the backbone of Otterbein, but a mentor and friend who encouraged her every step of the way. After graduating from Otterbein, she auditioned for and received a 1-year internship with the Virginia Stage Company in Norfolk. The 6-person acting troupe performed their own shows and worked as the crew for the main productions. It was a terrific experience for several months until the internship program was canceled. Instead of being devastated by the news, Tony moved back to Ohio, taking a job as a performer at Kings Island for the summer. As luck would have it, producers were in the area to audition talent for the Jesse Owens story, partly filmed in Columbus. Tony earned the role of Owen's sister. It was her first professional acting job, and because of it, she was able to join the Actors Union within a year of graduation. After receiving her master's degree in performance from Brandeis University, she moved to New York City in 1986. She has been acting professionally in theater, television, and films. She has appeared in television shows such as Law & Order, Sex and the City, Monk, and Third Watch. Pitano was in the original cast of the Broadway play 45 Seconds from Broadway by Neil Simon. Toni is passionate about promoting the development of original work that spotlights stories about women and people of color. She has participated in workshops and world premieres of plays by notable playwrights who are speaking to these topics. In 2005, she was cast as Helia James in Showtime's critically acclaimed series Weeds, which pushed societal boundaries and was at the forefront of TV at the time. The reaction to the show was a wonderful surprise to Toni and her castmates. She, along with the show, received numerous nominations and awards for her performance, notably recognized as Best and Outstanding Comedy Actress. Having achieved so much in more than 3 decades of work, Toni is proud that she's been able to create a living from acting, and she says the job always ends, but the career continues. Tonight, we honor Toni Pitano with the Otterbein Alumni Pace Setter Award for setting the pace for future leaders and learners.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my friend and the Pace Setter Award winner, Toni Pitano, class of 1983, to the stage.
30 years, really? Wow, this auditorium tells stories. I used to clean this place. Don't want to know what I found in the back corners during matinees, student matinees. Don't want to know. When asked what Otterbein means to me, how it's or facilitated my career, it's something I really did have to think about. And the irony of it is, it's the only thing that has gotten me where I am. The curriculum, my fellow alum are everything to me, everything. And it starts with a phrase that I like to use before I go on stage, before I act with anyone. It's to grab their hands, look in their eyes, and say, I see you. I see you. That's not something that we as a society really do, because we don't see each other. We allow for, we let people go. But to look in someone's eyes and genuinely say, I see you, is an important thing. We live in a society today where there's cameras and phones and this, that, so you catch a lot in the moment. So people are seeing things, but they're not seeing things. When I got here, with the encouragement of Cindy Skunza from my high school, I didn't know what I was getting into. I just knew there's a lot of white people here. Now, I say that and you laugh, but the truth is, me being this makes a difference in the world, not only to me, but to you. And when I first got here, my classmates, my teachers, my fellow students had to see me. When I got outside of these walls and stopped for going into my own house because someone thought I was breaking in, or I would be on choir tour and someone who didn't really know that there were actually 2 black people in the choir because his skin color was a lot fairer than mine. And those Christian families would ask, what's it like working with that black girl? That's a lesson for everyone, because those students would never have understood, why are they asking me this? Do you understand what I'm saying? Diversity is good. It's needed. It's something that we all have to see. I don't mean you have to agree, you don't have to, but you have to see. And I felt seen here. I am so grateful that there's more. I'm so grateful that our department now has women as leadership. All of these things are important. When I go out into the community, from the time I graduated, where All of the Otterbein alum are out there with me, all of them, Dee Hoty, these are amazing things that this university has created. There's not a job that I have gone on since I've left here that someone from Otterbein hasn't touched, and that's a blessing. But the main thing are my lovely, lovely family, and I call them my family, but my friends are here today. And these are the people who lifted me every single day I was here. When I graduated, they were at some of the podunk regional theaters. My blessed best friend, Lori Rudy, saw me in so many regional productions. She would fly out and see me. My point in saying this to you is there's no community like Otterbein, none. Even with the pain of it, as someone, this newly, I call him a baby, it breaks you down. But your community builds you back up, and that's what life is like. So I implore you all, these stories that are on the news, they're important because this cycle keeps happening. And just because you're white people doesn't mean that you can't see other people. Not for our sake, but for yours. Because the storytelling is important. I may have answered my phone back in the day, maids, whores, and nurses, may I help you? But I was the best damn maid, whore, and nurse you could find. Because it's not about being a maid. It's not about being a whore or a weed dealer. It's about that person and their story. And everybody's story is important. And if you don't understand the story, you're never going to understand the society. Never. So my lovely alum who works in those prisons, thank you. It's important. And if I say nothing else tonight, see each other, be seen, and embrace something that is unlike you so that you can learn and lift this society. Thank you so much.
And now, let's welcome the Executive Director of Alumni Relations and one of Otterbein's most loved cardinals to the stage, Miss Eckie Smith.
Well, good evening, and what a delight it is to share the stories of our next two Special Achievement Award recipients. This award recognizes excellence and high professional career contributions which have significantly enhanced the profession at a local, a regional level, or in the organization of the recipient's employment. Our first award winner is Diane Grody Adams. She's dedicated more than 25 years, along with her company team of SafeX, partnering with clients to keep associates healthy and safe on the job. Let's hear what motivated her and what keeps her work and SafeX at the forefront of excellence.
Diane Grody Adams is passionate about protecting employees from workplace hazards. She has spent the last 40 years of her life as a safety professional and industrial hygienist. Her work is motivated by the loss of her father, who installed and repaired insulation and who died young from esophageal cancer. Many of his colleagues, too, suffered from asbestos exposure. Today, there are numerous industrial hygiene degree programs across the country, but when Diane started out, there were next to none. A life science major, she knew little about the profession when she accepted an industrial hygiene position with OSHA. She discovered that the problem-solving skills and strong science background she acquired at Otterbein helped her quickly master the job. Diane founded her own consulting company, SafeX, in 1992. With more than 25 years partnering with clients to keep associates healthy and safe on the job, Diane believes an important part of the company's success can be attributed to her founding goal of providing a positive work-life balance for herself and her employees. With a commitment to excellence and employee flexibility, Diane has one of the most talented teams in the business. Diane says the SafeX company team divides its time between training and consulting for a number of industries, manufacturing, education, and real estate among them. General training classes are offered, as are industry-specific and customized classes. When Diane is asked to provide consulting services for a company, she and her staff first walk through the company's facilities, then details the required changes and explains what SafeX will do to help. Clients state anyone can identify something wrong, but sticking around to work through the solution and make it company practice is the rewarding byproduct of choosing a safety partner like SafeX. Diane has accomplished much in her career. In 2017, she was named a Distinguished Fellow of the American Industrial Hygiene Association, and in 2015, a finalist in the National Association of Women in Business Owners Columbus Visionary Award. Knowing the work her SafeX team does each day makes a difference in the safety of others on the job, Diane knows she will continue working with motivation and determination. We know her father would be incredibly proud of her accomplishments. Tonight, we are honored to present Diane Grody Adams with the Otterbein Special Achievement Award.
Welcoming Diane Grody Adams, class of 1978.
What an honor to be recognized with such distinguished and wonderful alumni as you've seen before me. I have to say that my liberal arts education and my science major and my semester C experience did definitely prepare me for the job and the career that I have, which is not what I planned to do when I came here. So many of us change careers and it still goes well. I have embraced Otterbein's commitment to the community engagement as well as lifelong learning. And you know, Otterbein over the past 10, 15 years continues to inspire me. When I come here to talk to students about futures in health and safety, or I bring them marketing and health and safety interns over to our offices, I learn so much from those students. And I've been blessed to be on the Alumni Council and work with Becky and Dr. Crendel, and they continue to inspire me as well to be a better person. And most recently, I was given the great opportunity to connect Otterbein with Cristo Rey Columbus, which is also about lifelong learning, community engagement, and giving back. So it's been a great pleasure, and they continue to make me a better person. And if you've not had the opportunity to work here with some of the fascinating students and the outstanding faculty and staff, I would encourage you to get involved because they're continuing to make me a better person every day and every year. Thank you very much.
Our next special achievement recipient was a classmate of mine and remains a friend. Jeff Brindley studied health, A&P, kinesiology, physical education with me, and he pursued a career in teaching. And in the springtime, you'd find him out on the baseball field. When life threw Jeff a curveball for his career, he hit it to the fences and enjoyed a Grand Slam success in car sales. Let's listen to the story about my friend, an Otterbein alumnus, Jeff Brindley.
Jeff Brindley has served as president and CEO of Roush Auto Group for the past 20 years. Car sales wasn't even a thought, however, when he graduated from Otterbein with a degree in health and physical education. But teaching positions were hard to come by, and after a year of substituting, he took a sales job at Roush. He had no experience, but he enjoyed the interactions with the customers and the competition with his colleagues. Jeff readily admits that he's highly competitive and says there's nothing more competitive than car sales. When he started in 1982, it was a much different environment than it is today. With high demand and no Honda auto plants in the United States, Roush had just 3 cars in inventory, and those sold over sticker price. The biggest problem for Jeff was talking his customers into actually waiting for a car. That got a little easier in 1984, when the first automobile plant was built in Marysville. In 1989, Jeff was promoted to sales manager, then vice president and general manager in 1994. During that time, he and owner Edwin Roush worked closely together. As most of you know, Mr. Roush graduated from Otterbein. He appreciated the fact that Jeff had worked his way up through the company. When Mr. Roush decided to sell the dealership to his employees in 1991, he asked Jeff to sit on the board of directors to assist with the transition. It was the first auto dealership in the country to be 100% employee-owned. The company has received American Honda's President's Award 12 times. The most prestigious award that a dealership can earn, it's based on performance criteria like sales volume, customer satisfaction, and much more. It is a testament to his leadership, as is Columbus CEO's Award for Top Workplace, which Roush Auto Group has received the past several years. Jeff is especially proud of that award because it is based on his employees' feedback. But he's not resting on his laurels. Looking to expand, the company recently purchased Jim Keim Ford, now Roush Ford in Hilliard. The organization has grown from a small dealership to a business that brought in $250 million and sold 8,500 cars last year. After working at Roush for over 35 years, Jeff still loves the competitive nature of the business and is enjoying the success the company has experienced. We are honored to present Jeff Brindley with Otterbein's Special Achievement Award.
So as you know, when a cardinal is called, we can count on them to come through where they're needed. So unfortunately, Jeff can't be with us tonight. He's in Nashville, where he has the responsibilities of being the chair-elect for the Ohio Auto Dealers Association at their annual conference. Jeff was humbled by this honor and asked before he left if we would share his thanks and appreciation by way of a recorded message. So let's listen to his remarks.
Good evening. I apologize that I am unable to be with you. I made a commitment a couple of years ago to serve on the executive committee of the Ohio Auto Dealers Association. Our annual convention is this weekend. As I am chairman-elect, it is necessary that I attend. My congratulations to all of tonight's award recipients. I am sure you feel as honored as I do. Kathy Crandall, thank you for taking our school to a level never dreamed of when I left in 1981. Your mark here at Otterbein will last forever. Becky Smith, we are so lucky to have someone with your passion for Otterbein. Thanks for everything you do for our alumni. Class of '81 is proud of you. I had many thoughts and memories return as I searched for the old photos you requested. What fun that was. Nick Wood and Don Stewart, it has been great to work with both of you. I value the partnership, but especially the friendship. Thank you. I am so lucky to be associated with Otterbein and the entire Westerville community. It has blessed me both personally and professionally. I owe so much to the Roush organization and especially Dubs Roush. We never met until after I was hired in 1982. When he found out I was Otterbein and a ball player, we were immediate friends. I learned so much from him about how to be fair to people always. My hope is that today's Otterbein students figure out early on how valuable the experience is. I would give anything to know what I know now and do it all again. I guess that's life always. I wish you all a great evening. Thank you.
My thanks to Jeff for his great work on behalf of Otterbein. And thanks for reminding us as a community of leaders and alumni we can be counted on to be fair, to honor responsibilities, and to make us proud. And now it's my pleasure to welcome back our incredible, talented co-hosts, Dee Hoty and Craig Bennett Icsman, back to the stage for a command performance of Fiddler on the Roof.
Command? Who's commanding us?
Yeah. Hi.
It's a bench.
It's a command performance. We didn't know that. Who's commanding us?
I don't.
We'll figure it out. Okay. So Craig and I not only toured together in the National of Mamma Mia, we know that we appeared at different times in different productions of the same show, not together, which was Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes.
I played Golda in the 1970s. There I am with Dave Mack.
I was Tevye in the 1980s. Oh, look at that.
Look at you. You're
And now
so
my hair's
young.
really gray.
You look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no shoe polish in there.
The show will always hold a special place in my heart for a lot of reasons. Chief among them, I mean, playing the iconic role of Tevye, who's the iconic father figure in musical theater, and but also because it provided me with a cherished memory of my own father. After my early tumultuous collegiate years, which encompassed many, many, many major changes, and finally settling on pre-law, then switching to theater, then transferring schools, which would make any parent question their child's sanity. My father came to see the show and came up to me after, a rather stoic German fellow, and he looked at me and he said, "Well, I guess you are pretty good at this." And that was the night I convinced him that I made the right decision. And I knew I've always belonged here, and it was nice to have him recognize that as well.
It's great. That's a great thing about Fiddler. It is a family thing. Of course, it is a show about pogroms and the Jews leaving Russia after the Tsar, or during the Tsar. And I was brought up, my father was Greek, so I was baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church, and my mother was Episcopalian, so we kids were baptized in that church as well. So we always figured if we ever got to St. Peter's Gate, we'd have it covered. But, so I come from that background, and here we were, these Gentiles at the EUB school of all time, doing this Jewish musical. So in the final dress rehearsal, there's a scene called Tevye's Dream, where he's trying to convince his wife that their daughter needs to marry Model the tailor and not Laser Wolf, the arranged marriage fellow that they'd chosen. And the way he does it is he thinks up this dream, and it's a wonderful number, and it ends with everybody screaming and jumping, and So Tevye and I are side by side in this bed, and at the end of the number, I threw myself out of the bed and threw myself down on the floor on my knees and promptly crossed myself. Yeah. When I realized, of course, in the middle of it, I can hear Chuck Dodrell just howling from the back of the house. Howling. Thank God it was a rehearsal. And Van just kind of shook her head. She's like, oh, man. Well, no one saw it because we were down for, everybody was off changing. So fast forward, there was always a cast party, and people with far better brains than I came up with the awards that were funny or poignant or whatever. So that year, I won the award for the best performance by a Protestant actress in a Jewish role with Catholic gestures. You can't make that up. So, good friends make forever friends, but Otterbein friends are the best friends of all. So I'm really happy that Craig and I are now going to do Do You Love Me, which is the love song between Tevye and Golda from Fiddler on the Roof.
Golda, do you love me?
Do I what?
Do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well?
With our daughters getting married and this trouble in the town, you're upset, you're worn out, go inside, go lie down. Maybe it's indigestion.
No, Golda, I'm asking you a question. Do you love me?
You're a fool.
I know, but do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well?
For 25 years I've washed your clothes, cleaned your house, cooked your meals, given you children, milked the cow. After 25 years, why talk about love right now?
Golda, the first time I met you was on our wedding day. I was scared.
I was shy.
I was nervous.
So was I.
But my father and my mother said we'd learn to love each other. And now I'm asking, Golda, do you love me?
I'm your wife.
I know, but do you love me?
Do I love him?
Well?
For 25 years I've lived with him, fought with him, starved with him. 25 years my bed is his. If that's not love, what is?
Then you love me.
I suppose I do.
And I suppose I love you too. It doesn't change a thing, but even so, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Otterbein President Kathy Krendel to the stage.
Well, good evening and thank you. To our honorees and their families, I offer a warm welcome and congratulations. And to our wonderful performers, I offer my appreciation for sharing your talent with us this evening. As president, I can tell you that Otterbein is distinguished by the character and integrity of its people. To the honorees, I offer our thanks for the ways you are advancing a greater good through meaningful contributions in your professions and your communities. I know your Otterbein mentors are proud. I offer them my thanks too. You all make us so proud. So again, I say thank you and congratulations. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the recipients of the Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award. The Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award is the highest honor awarded by Otterbein and is given to leaders whose efforts on behalf of this institution led for transformational and enduring change. Before I announce this year's Mary B. Thomas Award winners, I'd like to remind you of the past recipients. This esteemed group includes the Frank and Vida Clements Foundation, Ernest and Neva Fritchie, Edwin and Mary Lou Rausch, Vernon Pack, John and Susie King, William and Helen LeMay, Thomas and Jean Bromley, and Wendell Foote. I understand that Vernon Pack is in the audience tonight, as are Ernest and Neva's Fritchie's daughters, Nevelyn and Roberta. Would you please join me in a special welcome for these guests? These awardees have made incredible commitments to Otterbein in their giving, their service, and the opportunities that their support makes possible. Otterbein stands strong because of their philanthropic leadership and strategic vision. And that is why I am pleased to announce Thomas and Sarah Morrison as the 2018 Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein awardees. The Morris family legacy at Otterbein includes Tom's father, Wilbur H. Morrison, class of 1934, as well as his sister, 2 aunts, an uncle, and 2 cousins. Tom, a member of the class of 1963, was active on campus with the debate team, the band, choir, King's fraternity, several honoraries, and he served as president of the Young Republicans. At the advice of his political science professor and former department chair, the late Professor Emeritus John Laubach, Morrison applied for and was awarded the prestigious Root Tilden Scholarship at New York University Law School. After law school, Tom served his 4-year Air Force ROTC commission, serving as an attorney in the Judge Advocate General's Corps, with 2 years at Edwards Air Force Base in California and 13 months in Korea. That experience convinced him that he wanted to specialize in litigation. Tom returned to New York City and joined the Rogers and Wells law firm, eventually becoming partner. In 1977, he moved to Patterson, Belknap, Webb, and Tyler for 33 years, where he tried cases and argued appeals in courts around the country. He helped the firm pioneer an area of law known as false advertising litigation. Tom successfully represented a number of large pharmaceutical and consumer product companies in major trials, including Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Time Incorporated, Pfizer, Pizza Hut, Abbott Laboratories, and Crayola. Tom retired from Mannett, Phelps, and Phillips in 2015. Always a loyal supporter of his alma mater, Tom joined the Otterbein Board of Trustees in 1988. He served in a variety of capacities before becoming chairman of the board in 2005. It was under his leadership that the university expanded and renovated the Science Center, built the Austin E. Knowlton Center for Equine Science, and expanded our campus west of Alum Creek. In addition, Tom was chair of the board when I became the 20th president of this university, so thank you, Tom. A recipient of the Otterbein Distinguished Alumnus Award and trustee emeritus, Tom serves on several boards around the country and continues to keep his fingers on the pulse of Otterbein. Tom met Sarah Koester in New York City, and they were married in 1987. Sarah grew up in Kansas City and is a graduate of Northwestern University with a degree in art history. She worked in New York City at Art News magazine for a year before joining the Wall Street investment bank Donaldson, Lefkin, and Jenrette, where she served as a vice president in the firm's venture capital division. Sarah is involved in the Salisbury Association in Connecticut and with New Pond Farm, an education and environmental farm in Reading, Connecticut. She is also very active with the Kester House Museum and Gardens, a historical home built by her great-grandfather in Marysville, Kansas. She has authored several books on the history of the Kester family and the town in the late 19th century. Together, Tom and Sarah have a son, Charles. Tom also has two sons, Matthew and Michael, from a previous marriage, and 3 grandchildren. Tom and Sarah are longtime Otterbein annual fund donors and have supported 4 major campus renewal projects, including renovations of Towers Hall and Cowan Hall, the expansion of the Science Center, and the construction of Roush Hall and Clements Recreation Center. They have also established planned gifts to create future endowments in speech and in music, along with a full tuition scholarship for students interested in the U.S. government service, including an opportunity to attend the Fund for American Studies program in Washington, D.C. As true partners with the university, the Morrisons' philanthropic leadership totals more than $1.4 million. In Tom's own words, it is our sense of community that is at the heart of the Otterbein experience. This community of people are dedicated to learning, excellence, service to country and community, honesty, integrity, and humane values. This sense of community is, in fact, in our very DNA. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in recognizing the 2018 Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award honorees, Thomas C. and Sarah K. Morrison.
Thank you, Kathy. Sarah and I are deeply honored to have this award bestowed on us. When I listen to Kathy reading through the list of recipients, I'm embarrassed to be in their company. These are legends of Otterbein: Dubs and Mary Lou Roush, Bill and Helen LeMay, Vernon Pack, Ernie and Neva Fritchie. These are legends of Otterbein, and I'm deeply humbled that we can join this list of distinguished Otterbein alums. Kathy mentioned that Sarah did indeed go to Northwestern. I didn't meet her until I was in New York City, but Sarah has joined me for some 30 years at Otterbein events, and over those 30 years she's come to appreciate and love Otterbein as much as any alum possibly could. She's just overjoyed with the school. So President Crendell mentioned that I had a long career practicing law, close to 50 years, almost all of it in New York City, and it was an exciting career. It was a fascinating career. It was interesting. It was rewarding, but I can honestly say that it was my 4 years here at Otterbein that set me up for that career. Without my experiences at Otterbein, I would not have become the person that I came to be professionally. It wasn't just the education. I got a very solid education here, but some of the extracurricular things I was able to do: participate in debate team, participate in state extemporaneous speaking contests. Those experiences allowed me to become comfortable speaking to a hostile audience, which was generally the case,
But that experience seems to have been lost on the powers that be at Otterbein. One of my first tasks after I was named board chair was to preside at commencement in 2005. And I flew in from New York. I showed up at Brent DeVore's office, and someone handed me several pieces of paper. And I said, "What's this?" And they said, "That's the script. Your speech is in there." And I said, "What do you mean?" I write my own lines. I've thought through what I want to say. I said, no, this is the way we do it. We have a script. So I walked into Brent's office and said, "Brent, do I have to follow this script?" He said, "No, say whatever you want to say." So I did. And guess what? For the next 8 years, every time I was asked to speak at a significant event, commencement, Founders Day, Alumni Weekend, whatever the event was, someone sent me a script. And I said, "You're wasting your time. I don't need this." And the only time, and so of course I did ignore all those scripts for all of those 8 years, with one exception, and that exception was the inauguration of President Crandall. I was honored to preside at that event, and the college, for reasons that escape me, went to an outside firm with no connection with Otterbein and had that firm write a script for the entire ceremony. And there were other speakers besides myself, and they made it very clear that we all had to follow the script to a T because of timing, and each speech was going to build on the next speech and the speech before that. So came Inauguration Day. I was the first speaker up, and so in front of thousands of people on the most important occasion at Otterbein, I stood up at the podium at the Reich Center, put on my reading glasses, and proceeded to read the script. It was the worst speech I've ever given in my life. So, Kathy, I've always wanted to apologize for that. But don't blame me. They made me do it. The one real point, serious point that I would like to make tonight is that notwithstanding the experience and the success I enjoyed in the professional realm, nothing that I accomplished in my legal career compares to the satisfaction and joy that I received through my years on the Otterbein Board of Trustees, particularly the 8 years that I served as board chair. And by the way, several of my colleagues from those 8 years are here tonight. I want to thank them. Our good friend Jane Oman, Ted and Eileen Houston, and Doug and Mary Pat Knight. It was an honor to serve on the board with those people and with my fellow trustees. And it was an honor also to be a part of so much that happened at Otterbein during those 8 years. And it really dwarfs the joy I take when I think back about my legal cases. Just for example, we in the first year we held a celebration for Brent DeVore. And by the way, President DeVore was unable to be here tonight. He's in South America, couldn't get back for the ceremony. But we had a wonderful celebration. We also named DeVore Hall in his honor. That was a great honor to participate in that. We had the long-awaited science building. For years at the board, we had talked about it, but we never took any action. And finally, Brent and I and other board members were able to reach the point where the school was willing to fund the badly needed extension to the science building and the renovation of the old science building. That was really wonderful to participate in that. And then we had the cleanup of the old Kilgore farm where munitions had been buried, and we got the federal government through a lawsuit to participate in the cleanup. I always wanted to sue the U.S. government. I never had a chance to do so until we decided to sue them to get money for the cleanup. And so following the cleanup, we built this world-class Equine Center, which is just a wonderful, wonderful facility. Now, we had a grand opening of the Equine Center, and for some reason, nobody gave me a speech to give. But on the other hand, some genius in the advancement office said, "Morrison, at the end of the ceremony, why don't you get on a horse and lead a procession around the arena?" And I said, "Are you out of your mind? That'll set back our equine program 20 years, put me on a horse." It was also during those 8 years that we made the transition from Otterbein College to Otterbein University, which of course, as many of you know, was the original naming of the school. Talk about false advertising. We really weren't a university in 1847, but we certainly are today through our wonderful master's program. So that was exciting. The extension of the school to the west of Alum Creek area was wonderful. Our first building, of course, was the Art and Communications building, and the second was this old warehouse. And Brent DeVore and I had no idea what we were going to do with that Mettler-Toledo building, but we thought it was a good idea if the college bought it. Well, this morning, Mike McGreevy took myself and my family on a guided tour of the Point, and this is an astonishing achievement. And not just the physical facility, which is a wonderful transformation, but the idea, the concept, the strategic concept behind this of partnering with the city of Westerville and with entrepreneurs and major corporations, where our students will work side by side with people doing real things and doing real innovation. It's got to be one of the one-of-a-kind program in colleges. I'm so proud of what President Crendell, Mike, and the office at 8:30 or 9, and I would have emails that she sent to me at 2 a.m. She truly has a remarkable work ethic, and she truly has helped to move Otterbein to the next level, and we owe her an extremely solid debt of gratitude for that. I want to say one last thing. You'll be glad this is the last thing. But as I look around at what's going on in colleges and universities today, I am so thankful that I was part of Otterbein. Now tonight it's nice to get these awards. I'm sure all of the awardees are excited and enthused, but I think tonight is really not just about us. It's about Otterbein. And when you look at Otterbein and then you look at what's going on at other schools today, demonstrations, boycotts, lack of civility, there is even a movement, this is true, there's a movement among some professors in some schools to discredit civility. Civility is, in their mind, viewed as a matter of privilege and racism. Well, Otterbein, I think, stands for civility. Since our founding 170 years ago, Otterbein has stood for equality, inclusiveness, civility, honesty, integrity, and hard work and commitment. I'm proud of the values that make Otterbein what it is. And think about our current campaign, kindness. Other schools are having demonstrations and protests. We're focused on kindness because kindness matters. That's why Otterbein is special. That's why all of us love Otterbein. That's why I love Otterbein. Thank you very much.
I wish you had told me that I had the job when you first met me. That's the only thing I can say. Anyway, thank you, Tom and Sarah, very much for your leadership, your service, and your kindness. And now I invite all of you to sit back and enjoy the Otterbein Singers performing Joyful, Joyful, featuring soloist Grace Dillon. The Otterbein Singers are accompanied by Dennis Davenport, chair of the music department, and are directed by Joyce Stonebreaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the Otterbein Singers.
Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, hail thee as the sun above. Melt the clouds of sin and sadness, drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light, fill us with the light, Lord, fill us with the light of day.
Check the rhyme, joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee. 'Cause in my life I put none before thee, and since I was a youngster I came to know that you was the only way to go.
So I had to grow and come to an understanding that I'm down with the king. So now I'm demanding that you tell me who you down with C. 'Cause all I know is that I'm down with G.O.D. You down with G.O.D.?
Yeah, you know me. You down with G.O.D.? Yeah, you know me.
You down with G.O.D.? Who's down with G.O.D.? Oh Lord, don't you know we need you now? Fill us with your light, let your light shine on us.
Wasn't that great? We got you moving, right? Well, thank you to the Otterbein Singers and to Dennis and Joyce. What a talent. And voices. Now, I won't start singing, but man, I can start boogieing. The Honorary Otterbein Alumni Award recognizes and honors individuals who, though not graduates of the university, have demonstrated outstanding commitment and involvement in its life and its activities. Those granted honorary alumni standing have clearly played an important role in the enhancement of the institution and my alma mater. There are countless things to say about this evening's two honorees, but there are some friends who would like to tell you themselves through their words, and they would like to then offer a very special musical performance. Let's listen.
What makes Dr. Crendel and Dr. Gilbert so special is their passion for teaching and for community.
One of the most wonderful things about Dr. Crendel and Richard Gilbert is their commitment to each other.
I had Dr. Crendel in class, and she was just so influential in my life.
Dr. Crendel has taught me a lot about networking and reaching out to people in my community and having a passionate outlook on my life and career. As an educator, Dr. Crendel makes sure that every student is inspired to reach their full potential in the course and beyond.
So one of the things that made Richard such a great instructor for me and for other members of the LLC was that he was very welcoming to all students.
Every time that I came into class, she had something interesting to say, something interesting to show us. But most importantly, she was always ready to listen.
As an educator, Dr. Gilbert makes sure that every student is getting the full value of the course.
Dr. Crendel has always been there for me. She was just there as a woman leader to guide me through things that I normally wouldn't know how to do.
An example of Kathy's leadership is at board meetings. There's quite a few people around the table. Sometimes we have students in doing presentations, faculty doing presentations. But Kathy is always taking charge of that meeting and asking for input. I want to tell you that one of the beauties that Kathy brings to the institution is the qualitative measures, something that we measure not by numbers, but by the community that we have. So one of the goals of the university and our mission statement and part of our strategic plan is to build a model community. And I think we've achieved that during Kathy's tenure here at Otterbein.
The newest campaign, Kindness Matters, and your collaboration with the Columbus Foundation, this is meaningful because this is who you are. Kindness is the language that allows the deaf to hear and the blind to see. You emulate that in everything you do every day, Kathy.
I know with being an alumni, an Otterbein alumni, there are definitely certain qualities that they have, such as willingness to give is a lot, willing to give back.
When I go to the homecoming parade and I see Kathy in the car driving in the parade and students running up to the car, and she is hugging the students and the students are hugging her.
Kathy and Richard, for the past 9 years, you have led this community, this Otterbein community and Central Ohio community, with passion, with justice, with inclusion. I can't think of a better award than to present the both of you with the Otterbein Alumni for Life.
I can't think of anyone more deserving for the Honorary Alumni Award than Dr. Crendel and Dr. Gilbert.
I'm very pleased and honored to have Kathy and Richard join me as an alumnus of Otterbein University.
Hours can go so fast. You look around, the day has passed. When you're in love, time is precious stuff. Even a lifetime isn't enough.
Where has the time all gone to? Haven't done half the things we want to. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time.
This day was just a token. Too many words are still unspoken.
Oh well, we'll catch up some other time.
Just when the fun is starting, comes the time for parting. But let's be glad for what we've had and what's to come.
There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time.
Where has the time all gone to? Haven't done half the things we want to.
Oh well, we'll catch up some other time.
Just when the fun is starting, comes
the time for parting. Let's just be glad for what we've had and what's to come. There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing.
oh well,
We'll catch up
some other
time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to present the Honorary Alumni Award to two forever Cardinals, President Kathy Crindle and Professor Richard Gilbert.
Almost 10 years ago now, when we learned that Kathy would become president, I started learning Otterbein's story. We were living on a farm and working at Ohio University, and every evening after my day job and chores, I would read the institution's history. Otterbein's lineage as a college of opportunity really impressed me, and I thought how neat, how fitting, that the first woman to lead Otterbein is a first-generation college graduate, a farm girl from Northwest Ohio who had given dance lessons above the family's garage, who financed her education by planting and harvesting crops, who belted out songs from Broadway musicals as she plowed the fields.
No one could hear me. It was
And then we came here, and as I got to know the institution and its students and faculty and staff, I marveled at the spirit here. Unlike many universities, for instance, there wasn't such a big gulf between student culture and adult culture. Students took Otterbein at its word, and they expected to be treated as human beings, and they reciprocated. It wasn't long before I wished I had attended Otterbein. Had I known it existed, and had I ever been north of the Mason-Dixon line, I might have. As a first-generation college student myself, I could have used the nurturing and the challenges that students find here. So becoming an alumnus means a great deal to me. It's the finest honor I've ever received. Thank you, and I can't believe no one has said this yet. Go Cards!
So I had the opportunity to review the list of previous honorary alumni, and it reads like truly a who's who of Otterbein history. Previous presidents, noted and distinguished faculty, beloved friends, spouses, and supporters. It's a great honor to be among those who precede us, and Richard and I are most grateful for this honor on this wonderful evening of celebrations. And now, in keeping with the musical theater theme of the evening, I would like to share my personal version of my favorite things. Don't worry, this is about my favorite things about Otterbein University. I want to share just 5 things, and I'll be quick about it. They are things that I genuinely love about Otterbein, things that will remain forever in our hearts when we think about Otterbein, and believe me, we will be thinking much about Otterbein in the months and years ahead. First, in the words of Reverend Lewis Davis, 2-time president of Otterbein, who fought against higher powers in his battle to found this institution. He was repeatedly told in public hearings to be still, to sit down and be still. But his consistent response to those authorities was, no, you be still. He laid the foundation for an institution that has steadfastly refused to stand still since that day. I love the determination, the straightforward honesty, the sense of purpose, and the assertiveness of his response. True to our history, Otterbein will never stand still. Second, only Otterbein, I love this, would have an alma mater named the Otterbein Love Song. Enough said on that front. The fact is that we wrote it, we own it, we call it what it is, a testament of our love for our institution. And we're unapologetic and unpretentious about it. I love that about Otterbein. Third, in 1968, Otterbein ran a full-page ad in Time magazine. I'm going to quote from it. Don't tell us about coeducation, we practically invented it. We're 120 years old, but neither ivy nor moss has ever gained a foothold to hamper our independent thinking. We're based on the church, oriented to the world, and our most cherished tradition is the encouragement we give to creative thought and action. Write our admissions office. We can always use another leader. Time magazine, 1968. Again, I love the assertiveness. I love that we own our history and our mission. Tom gave a litany of our values. They're still true today. And I love that we expressed our sense of purpose and pride in a national publication in 1968. Fourth, I want to share an email from a student that I received last week, and I'm quoting from it, and you all know, you've heard a lot about the Kindness Matters initiative. Hello, President Crandall. I'm a freshman here at Otterbein. Before enrolling at the university, I was very excited to hear that the initiative at Otterbein is Kindness Matters. I've always valued acts of kindness and have made it a personal mission to treat others with compassion. This summer, I will be competing in the Miss Lake Festival pageant in my hometown of Salina, Ohio. That's 10 miles from my home farm. I would love to carry this message with me as my platform. I'm asking for your permission to allow me to share this going forward. It would be an honor for me to represent not only this campaign, but Otterbein University as well. I know that as a student, kindness can make the world a better place in and out of the classroom. I'm thankful every day that I attend a university that speaks kindness into existence. I'm honored to be an Otterbein Cardinal, and I'm proud to represent our school wherever I go, exclamation point. Please let me know if I can carry the honor of representing Kindness Matters as a platform. I look forward to hearing from you. The takeaway from this message is that Otterbein is an institution where our students actually talk about kindness. They are proud that their institution celebrates kindness. They understand that it's part of our identity, our character, our DNA, and I love that. My fifth and final favorite thing about Otterbein, the final thing I love most about our institution, takes me back to a conversation I had with a mother at my very first orientation. She approached me following my comments and said she had just a few questions for me. She asked about my transition. Why did I come to Otterbein? What was my background? What were my goals for the college? And then she looked me straight in the eyes and she said, I want to thank you for talking with me because I wanted to get to know you a little bit because after all, I am giving you my son. That conversation took my breath away as a first-time president in my very first week at Otterbein. And now every day as I head into the office or I go to meetings, I remember the intensity of the gaze in her eyes, the directness of her comment to me. She was putting her trust in Otterbein and in me to take care of her son, to help him learn and grow and mature, and to keep him safe. In closing, that really is my most favorite thing about Otterbein, the fact that our students come first, that we all know and celebrate that our commitment to them is real, and their education is at the very core of our mission and purpose. I really do love that about Otterbein, and it really is my favorite thing. I appreciate all of you being here this evening to join in this celebration of our dear Otterbein in this not quite so quiet anymore village, where we won't stand still, where we will continue to sing our Otterbein love song to our alma mater proudly, where we can always use another leader still today, as in 1968, where kindness matters, and what matters most is our students. Thank you for this great honor.
For one last time, please welcome co-hosts Dee Hoty and Craig Bennett Icsman back to the stage.
Hi. Oh, we're just all over the place here.
What a night.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I see. See, I read what the announcer was saying and go, that's wrong. This is what's wrong. This is what the gentleman who won the award was saying about someone else writing you a speech. It's because I'm just too blonde. I don't know. Okay. On that really silly note, I apologize. What a wonderful night. I can't believe we've been sitting backstage listening to all these speeches and learning about all these amazing Otterbein alumni, and it's incredible to see what this school and this community has accomplished.
Without question. It's impressive. Every bit of what I would expect from Otterbein.
Sure.
When I stand on this stage, I swear I can almost hear Chuck Dodrill's laugh up there.
Hysterical!
And I see Dean Van standing right down there with her book. We're also lucky to call this place home.
I am thankful that David Mack, who was one of my brother's dearest friends in high school, recommended Otterbein to me. I'll never forget the day I visited campus. At the end of our visit, a guy named Jim Million, who was in admissions, asked my dad and I to wait for him in the cafeteria. I didn't know that they'd already closed admissions for women. I was a little behind the eight ball when it came to applying to college. And my father was like, we gotta go, Dee. He ran all over campus telling, I don't know, or asking who knows what, and came screaming back to us and said, congratulations, you've been accepted to Otterbein. He got me accepted, or I would not be standing here tonight. I owe him so much, especially because, as I said, admissions were closed by then. So I've always said that he was a 1 in a million, that Jim Million.
So we say a final congratulations to our incredible honorees and our presenters. We offer too our sincerest thanks to the donors and society members. Thank you also to President Crendel, Chairman Thresher, and all Otterbein trustees and leaders who remain committed to Otterbein's future.
We want to thank Dominic Bear, and our house band, along with all the fantastic performers. Thank you. Bravo. And thank you also to Stella Hyatt Kane, Dennis Davenport, Lori K. Harvey, Doc Davis, Rebecca White, Julia Ferrari, and Michael Minute for their contributions to this celebration, along with the 65-plus talented staff and students who helped bring this evening's celebration to life tonight. A very special thank you to Otterbein alumnus, director, talent extraordinaire, and dear friend, David Helmsley Caldwell, for his vision and commitment to directing tonight's program. He saved us, trust me.
Remember, following the Otterbein Love Song, we invite you to join us at the Afterglow reception across the street in Rausch Hall Gallery. We'll raise a glass to Otterbein excellence, visit with our performers and awardees. We'll enjoy sparkling Cardinal cocktails and some decadent treats.
The bar will be open.
And be sure to get your red carpet photo with a commemorative photo frame provided generously by the Otterbein Bookstore through Follett. Finally, thanks to all of you for supporting Otterbein and coming home to share in the excellence of this model community of scholars, leaders, and golden stars.
But wait, there's more. We have one more thank you to say. After 30+ years with Otterbein, Becky Smith is retiring. She doesn't know anything about this, but I would like to ask you all to give her a big round of applause and make her come up here. Becky! Becky, there you are. Becky! Yay! Surprise!
You did.
You don't have anything written down, do you? Say something. Becky! Becky!
So I'm texting the folks across the street saying, this is going too long. And here I am. I just want to say one thing. I bleed tan and cardinal. And just because you turn the page and say, it's another day, I will still bleed tan and cardinal, and I'm still here forever and ever. So thank you for all the memories. It's just been wonderful.
Yay. As we prepare to sing our alma mater, I should mention this year marks the 100th anniversary of our Otterbein love song. I didn't know that. How lucky for us that this quiet, peaceful village provided us all with one of the best and most meaningful love affairs of our lives. Our education, our mentors and friends, and our talents and dreams realized. So, to you, my dear friend Craig, President Crendell, Richard Gilbert, and all of you, let's be sure to catch up some other time. Would you all please, while you already are standing, to join the Otterbein singers as we close this program with the Otterbein love song. The words are inside your program, the front cover of your program.
Thank you, Dee, for sharing your talents this night and this celebration. We'll see you at the Afterglow.
Yes, we will. Oh, I love it. It's a pitch pipe.
Sweet
Thank you.